All right, hey guys, this is just a quick video kind of showing off a new tool in Varsheet Installer. It's something really important for us though, and that's to set this thing up for SQL compression. So we've been working on SQL compression because our data really is just, it's gonna bloat if we keep putting out websites without it, because we just cram a ton of information into our databases, you know, hundreds and hundreds of columns, lots of sentences and paragraphs, phone numbers, company names, and everything else being repeated thousands of times. And so we have to make that more efficient. We're just doing it now. So we finished SQL compression, it works. And moving forward, we finished the templates for new websites, they work too. But we already have 192 websites on our server that need to be compressed already. We have to compress that information. And as of this AM, we got the Varsheet installer updated to be able to handle that task. So right now, I'm actually going to go through it. So this is kind of like a dry run. And I open up one of these just so that you can see it. Let me see. It's over here. Don't need that anymore. And so it's right here for the database. And what we're going to do is add a table called GV_keys. And we're going to add it through actually 182 of the websites. We already did it on 10. So we're going to do that now. So there are basically two steps. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to grab these 182 websites and put those in the first box. Okay, one per line. Now, down here's the query. If we were to do this by hand, right, we'd have to go to each website one at a time, log into each cPanel one at a time, go to each PHP MyAdmin one at a time, select the database we want, hit import, and then import the database table we would have created, let it refresh, and then close that out and literally go to the next website. We'd have to do that 192 times. And if we were gonna make updates on the next, let's say 500 websites, right, the industries that we're doing, then we'd have to do those too manually. So of course, we're trying to simplify everything by getting really good at automation. We've been doing extremely well with that. Okay, Control C. And just so you know, let's see if we see it, Control V. Okay, I'm gonna take it back up. Right. The table we're creating is called GV_keys. It's the key file, okay, for global variables, right? That's the table we're going to create. So if all goes well, we're going to see that table appear here on a refresh. You know, if we close it or step out, step back in, refresh it pretty soon. Now, that I just opened one of those websites as one of the top few, okay? I do not know how fast this is going to run. So one thing that'll be interesting is noticing the time. So we're going to start here in a few seconds. But one thing I want to do is go ahead and hit inspect and go to the network tab, because I may, and I have no idea if I'm going to get lucky with this or not. Okay. Yeah, I may actually be able to see it work on each website one by one. If not, it's just going to treat it like one big run, and I'm not going to get any feedback until the end, in which case it won't matter if I have it open, except one thing. It'll actually tell us the time it took to run it. So here we go. Cross your fingers. I'm doing the same. As we get those old databases updated, and we also upload the file updates for those, you know, Locksmith and GDR websites, then we are going to be able to do compression on those as well. And we're actually going to do a new, far stronger run because of other things we've been working on over the past, while. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to run this query on those 182 websites and just see how it acts. All right. Now, since that's recording, and we started at basically 256 and however many seconds, just for anyone who really cares. Okay, like 256 and 35. It's running. It's pending, and it looks like we're not going to see anything till the end, because I'm pretty sure it's going to get through these websites relatively quickly. Having said that, what I want to do is come over here, okay, and I want to go ahead and just see. This is like one of the top 5 or 10 websites, right? I don't know if I can do it that way or if I actually have to come out and then come back in. We'll see in a little bit, but it's loading, right? So we're waiting for that yellow bar to go away. Yeah, take a look. There it is right there, GV keys. We did it, okay? We did it. So we'll just find out how long it takes to finish, but it got through those first few and got that much done. So I'm going to go ahead and close those other tabs. And we are just waiting for this to complete. So I'll pause. I'm going to walk off, get some coffee and so on. When we come back, we'll see how long it says it took. It will literally tell us the time on this step when it's finished. And it'll probably have some follow-up steps. We'll see. It could. So we'll just find how long each thing takes. All right. Okay, here's the good news and the bad news. The good news is it did finish. The process itself is totally finished. It took 15 minutes. And then what took 187 milliseconds? Just displaying the page that basically says there was no page configured to appear after the whole thing was done. So it's just showing us a silly looking page, right? Just telling us that there's an error. There was no error. There just was no correct command for what to do after the process is complete. So if I go back and check the databases, I'm going to find this is in there. I recognize this. I'm going to find it's in there, and I'll double check that shortly. But I will say this. Here's the good news. All of our processes are being automated so that we can handle support for everyone in the back end, which is awesome. It means that all of the focus of, well, most of the focus of cache and all of the focus of going forward for projects is simply creating backlinks and robotexting, really, because now all the automation for the websites is basically done. Think about what this would mean normally. 15 minutes. If I were to get this done by somebody, it would take about a minute and a half each, plus, because that would be like 4.5 hours, because 182 times, say 180 times a minute and a half would be 180 plus 90, 270 minutes, which is like 3.5 hours, right? 240 minutes would be 4 hours, or 4.5, and then 30 more minutes. So 4.5 hours. But because they wouldn't be able to go that mechanically, would drive them batty. You know, I got to add half an hour for just some minor relaxation here and there between runs. Somebody's got to refresh their coffee and stuff and take a break. So I got to assume 5 hours. If I'm paying somebody $10 an hour for 5 hours, it's $50 worth of work. I would normally have to pay $50 and wait 5 hours for this to get done. In this case, all I had to do was grab this list, grab that query, stick it into the boxes, and just run it. And while it's running, I walked away. So physically, it took me about 3 minutes of work and cost nothing. Okay, that's the difference between the old days. Whenever we made changes to the websites, we had to pay people to work on all of those websites to update them all, make changes to them all. And the new days, we don't have to do that anymore. I guess if I were to check like one of the last websites, your last website, just make sure it got all the way through and didn't run out halfway down, and it should have gotten all the way through, you know. But let me just do a dummy check, right? So there's the last website in the list. Okay, it makes sense anyway. Yeah. Okay. So let's get over there. Oh, okay. Say, all right. So let's just see, right? Okay. Yeah, this is what I mean by, this can take a while to load, right? There it is. That's the one. That was the last one in the list. That was the last one in the list. So let me just go to the one right before it, okay? Or heck, let me even just go to like that one, okay? Copy. I'm just kind of, trying to be more or less random. Control V, boom. Here we go. So close tabs to the right because they're going to be for the wrong thing now. PHP my yeah, doing this one at a time is a pain, uploading and going through them, right? And they got to go through all the right ones, not the wrong ones, and that would be a pain. Yeah, see, it's there. Totally awesome, man. 15 minutes. So let's just think about that. Like, how many websites does that mean per minute? I mean, this is beautiful because you can't picture going that fast manually, right? That's 12 per minute. So in like 60 seconds, right? So if you go like 60 divided by 12 is 70 seconds per. Yeah, 5 seconds for each one. 5 seconds robotically, no breaks needed, no refilling coffee needed, and no payment needed, to anybody to get the work done. I love it. Awesome, awesome, awesome. SQL compression, here we come.